So, which animatronic inside Secret of the Mimic went through the most pain? What a weird question to ask, but in FNAF games, FNAF animatronics usually get their heads kicked in. It happened in Security Breach, and in Secret of the Mimic, there is no exception. There are some absolutely brutal moments. So, without further ado, let's start off with the person with the least, pain inside Secret of the Mimic. And this is Tiger Rock. Tiger Rock has sustained no damage throughout the events of this game. The reason why? Well, Tiger Rock is a ghost, and last time I checked, ghosts can't really get hurt. So during our confrontation with Tiger Rock, it was just teleporting around the place, really just messing with the player more than us messing with it. And by the time we had found the last toy thing, it was pretty much already gone. So we can assume that Tiger Rock is possibly the most overpowered animatronic inside Secret of the Mimic. Moving on, we have the moon creature inside of the basement. The moon thing is already an interesting topic because we don't actually know what is inside it, beside that it could be either a human, it could be perhaps Edwin himself, or it could be the Mimic just fooling the player. There's not really a concrete answer, so whatever is inside of it is a mystery for another time. Check the video in the bookmark if you want to see more of it. But pretty much we can assume that this moon thing hasn't sustained much damage, as it pretty much runs around the basement with no signs of any physical damage to its body, and it doesn't really sustain any damage as we don't really pose much of a threat to this absolutely beast of a moon. If we are going to go with some other theories out there, perhaps it's starving inside the suit, which could mean that perhaps it's going through some sort of damage. And there's another theory out there that goes that Edwin is the one inside the suit, and if this was the case, Edwin's legs are broken as this radio signifies that. So if this is the case, then perhaps Edwin is running with broken legs, which last time I checked is very not smart, but I mean, who knows what's actually going on with this thing. Next up is the Mimic, and you might be wondering, well, doesn't the Mimic possess every single animatronic in the game? And to that I say, yes. Technically, the Mimic is every single threat in the game, but the Mimic uses these animatronics more like shells, kinda like a turtle in some way. So I'm gonna take just the damage that is sustained without using any animatronic shells, and this is very apparent in the last confrontation with the Mimic inside the mansion. The Mimic does go through a lot of stuff, including getting nearly crushed by this walkway and submerged into lava, it seems. And there's many other instances where it just tanks every single hit thrown at it. So the Mimic is very strong, however, it does end up going through every single attack that was put onto it and ends up actually destroying the van at the end of the game. So we can assume that the Mimic is very durable and is pretty much just unstoppable in this game. So moving on, we have Jackie. And Jackie is a bit of a weird one, because straight away, the first time we see Jackie, it decides to jump out of its music box. And I can't lie, by the look of it, it did not look like it was a peaceful experience. But as soon as Jackie jumps out of the music box, it's instantly on. The chase begins. And at this point, it starts running around the place, causing absolute havoc. And by the looks of things, it's just damaging itself. It's running through pipes. It's just having itself a nightmare of a day. And then the second we get into the actual chase is when things get a little bit serious, because it will start punching through walls, through ceilings, trying to grab us. And throughout this time, we narrowly avoid the monster until we reach this door. We end up crushing the animatronic with the door, and I think part of the face falls off, and yeah, no, it did not look like it was fun. After this, we go straight into the vent, and again, Jackie finds us and decides to destroy the vent system, and we never see of Jackie again. So I assume Jackie must have fell, and the Mimic saw that the animatronic was so damaged that it had to leave and find another host to, I guess, scare us. So that's why I'm putting Jackie here, because I'm pretty sure this decommissioned the animatronic. Alright, moving on to number 2. This is going to be Big Top, and Big Top starts off just being, itself. It goes around the place asking for tickets. However, it's until we end up getting through this section and make it to the rooftop where things get a little bit serious. Big Top then literally jumps out of its confinement and begins to chase us through the halls of the manor. It will start punching just absolutely destroying itself in the process. And by the time we get to the last section where we make it to this balcony, Big Top follows us and ends up destroying the whole balcony, causing it to fall down. And as we can see the aftermath here, Big Top seems to be in a very bad state. However, it doesn't actually become fully destroyed, as the Mimic reuses it later to hunt us through the entrance of the manor. Although the animatronic is completely destroyed, it somehow is still alive and being used by the Mimic. So this one is a bit of a weird one, but judging by the look of it after it fell, yeah, it went through a lot of transformation from when we first saw it. And finally, the character that took the most damage inside of Secret of the Mimic is Dolly. When we first see Dolly, it looks like the animatronic is pristine, it looks clean, it looks like it's very brand new. And as we go through its little section and it starts to hunt us, we have to, well, decommission it some way or another. So we end up using a conveyor belt to make the animatronic fall into a pit of lava. Now, did this destroy Dolly? No, in fact, it only made it stronger, as it would literally walk out of the lava unscathed and then chase us through this conveyor belt. This new version of Dolly, the Molten Dolly, is an absolute menace. It goes and runs through a bunch of walls, acting like it's the Juggernaut. We would then find an elevator where we would find a little bit of safety. However, Dolly would follow us and make it to the top of the elevator. The only way to destroy it was to literally force the elevator onto the ceiling, and that would finally be the end of Dolly. So yeah, to where we first saw Dolly and where we last saw it, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that this is the animatronic that had it the worst inside of Secret of the Mimic. If you have enjoyed this video, smash a like, and if you are brand new here and never want to miss out on a future upload, then please consider subscribing as well. But anyways, until next time, take it easy and goodbye.